This is Herring, and he's fighting for his life and for the future of every man on this planet, as it's dominated by girls. Even though the girls are stronger, our boy Herring is the secret weapon for the kingdom of men, as he's forced to turn on his serious mode. As such, his blistering speed overwhelms Hira from Hunter x Hunter, allowing him to gank her from behind using teleportation jutsu. In a blink of an eye, Herring appears behind the rice cake he was supposed to destroy today, but now he has to obliterate her in battle using only the back of his weapon. However, Hira is able to counter by using her signature defensive move she had to learn, as restraining orders weren't effective enough for the top 5 ranked member of the Special Forces. Success, Herring is forced back as her defensive torrent of swings is able to stop any Chad from approaching her, but our boy has something up his sleeve. Since Herring is not just an Ultra Chad, he also happens to be the biggest Sigma male of all time, giving him an advantage against the anti-Chad attack, allowing him to find the one single weak spot in her seemingly unstoppable defense. Within mere seconds, Herring is able to destroy Hira's weapon, where our boy then proceeds to channel his Avatar airbending skills to swiftly close the gap, allowing our boy to activate his special Bad Breath attack to knock her out. With the unexpected attack being super effective, Hira finds herself already on the ground, totally defeated and unable to procure any more moves, as our boy is able to fully disarm her. Now that our Hunter x Hunter girl totally got destroyed in front of the entire Blackthorn army and her own peers, everyone looks on in shock, as Hira has never lost a battle before, let alone a single 1 versus 1. Regardless, Herring stays true to his nickname of being the Prince Behemoth, as he takes a quick moment to ask Hira for her collar, as bro still wants to secure some rice cake smashing for later like a true man. Unfortunately, right before he's able to retrieve her collar, he's forced to dodge away due to his ultra instincts activating, letting him know that Blondie is on the move. Now let's be real, Blondie is probably jealous our boy asked for Hira's collar first, so that's why she had to interrupt and insult Herring for being like Solid Snake. Anyways, Blondie smiles on even though her perfect sneak attack failed, so she starts making a remark about how something feels off with Herring, since the dude is showing no signs of desperation at all, even when facing impossible odds. Nevertheless, Herring stands and waits for Blondie to make her move, so she ends up showcasing her true powers by instantly disappearing using her supersonic speed she learned from the hedgehog. Although Blondie is lightning fast, our boy is still able to keep track of her, while successfully baiting her to strike him out in the open. With Blondie actually taking the bait, Herring finally activates his trap card by breaking his spear into 2, effectively transforming them into some sort of nunchucks. Using his quick thinking, our boy is able to dodge every single attack without even having to face her, as bro got that main character type of power. Now with Herring fully tested to the best of Blondie's abilities, she's able to finally confirm the reason why Ara picked him as the chosen one to clap the irresistible cakes of the goddess. However, after being distracted for literally only 1 second, our boy takes the opportunity to instantly land a direct blow on Blondie, rendering her absolutely useless. With her finally defeated with a single blow, Herring looks back and starts calling her out for being part of the water hyacinths, whilst busy putting his spear back in its original form. He then takes his time to thank her for helping the boys get out of the city, so in return he reveals to her that if a war actually breaks out, then the Crimson Foxes will find themselves totally wiped out by the wolves. Herring then continues on by claiming the fact that he's not ready to perish in battle, so he apologizes if he needs to play a little dirty to make sure he's able to survive. Meanwhile, Silly watches on as Herring makes his Chad speech to Blondie, but upon finishing his speech, Silly surprisingly orders all the archers to stand down from their positions. She even goes as far as threatening her entire army that if anyone accidentally fires, then they will get clapped by her very own hands. As such, this gives time for Herring to run off while both Blondie and Hira try their best to get back up on their feet to chase down the legendary Prince Behemoth. This time, however, both girls decide they need to drop their pride as they can't take down our boy 1 versus 1, so Kira asks for help to take them down together. Elsewhere on the opposite end of the battlefield, Maru finds himself having an unusually hard time against Alita Battle Angel, as she's fighting with more tenacity than usual. Although they've been fighting off against each other for literally the entire time both have enlisted as part of their respective Delta forces, Maru the nerd knows she's about to obliterate him into Reese's Pieces. You might as well call him Nostradamus, as he's able to successfully predict his demise mere seconds later. Luckily, right before Hina is able to land her finishing blow on Maru, Herring shows up last second and saves him by knocking her out with the back of his spear. Unfortunately, Herring had to stop for a few seconds to help out Maru, allowing Hina's sister to catch up to him to land a strike of her own from behind. Right before she thought she had him right where she wanted him to be, our boy instantly turns around and channels his WWE skills to bring her back down to where she belongs. After landing on the ground again, our boy quickly apologizes right before he fully sends her to a dream state, but he's also able to swiftly remind her that she's due for a rice cake smashing with him in the future. Nevertheless, after defeating both Hira and Hina, Harang drops the bomb on Maru that it's all up to him now to support Karim, since Harang needs to do the heavy lifting to make sure they all come out of this ordeal alive. Now, right before Maru could even reply back, Harang literally disappears off into the sunset, causing Maru to double-check if he's seeing things, as bro literally teleported forward. Now that Maru is saved, we discover that Hisper Wong is also having a hard time with his partner, as Mira is delivering the strongest attacks he's ever faced. Although these guys are literally lovers, even though Mary do be double-dipping on both men and women, including Wong, she's actually about ready to send him 6 feet underground without any hesitation. But just like what happened with Maru, Wong gets absolutely saved in the nick of time by Harang, as he's able to one-kick man her into the sunset. He then instantly combos his kick with a self-inflicted whiplash, allowing Mary to go take a quick nap, while Harang tells Wong he has a plan for everyone to escape out of this hellhole. However, as Harang is busy telling Wong they need a hostage to make the plan work, Blondie appears from behind with a gentle smirk and continues to gank our boy with her double daggers. The turntables then turn while the two face off in battle once again, as Blondie takes the opportunity to talk to Harang while looking like she's trying to win the Best Actress award at the Oscars. She then reveals the fact that she tied a hidden rope to the end of the cliff behind him, which is marked by a pointy rock just so no one else can see from above. Blondie then continues on by telling our boy that she's ready to act as the hostage, as the boys will need to move ASAP if they want to get out of this place alive, as more and more reinforcements are coming to make sure the elite Garimbi see their end. However, Harang, being a true gentleman, declines her offer and tells her they don't want to drag her along with this, so Maru sneaks up from behind and sends her to her nappy time. Now that the boys are all united bar Karim, the three musketeers hurry to enact the plan they originally made, with Maru telling Wong to stop diddle-dallying as they don't have much time. Unfortunately, Wong refuses to move, as it turns out he's the biggest simp of them all, as he wants to say goodbye to Mary, as he knows this might be the last time they will see each other again. Meanwhile, Seoli stands firm with her decision and orders her army to make sure no one makes a single move, as her eyes are glued on to Harang like a true supreme sussy baka. As she watches Harang make a mad dash toward Ara, she starts thinking to herself that she needs to confirm if Harang is actually the real deal against Ara, as she can't believe Mukbum has been hiding such a monster all this time. Regardless, Karim is actually able to hold on to his dear life against the goddess, even though she's no longer holding back against her former #1 simp. Now the crazy thing is that Karim had to ask Goku to lend him some powers, so this time he's able to take more hits than usual, as he knows he needs a miracle to survive the oncoming onslaught waiting for him. Nevertheless, for the first time ever, Ara compliments Karim, telling him that he's changed, so she asks him outright if his mother actually means so much for him to gain so much power in so little time. She then continues on by delivering a heartbreak, telling Karim he actually had a chance to destroy her rice cakes if she held her mother in the same regard as other women, but it's too late now. With Ara ending her talk by claiming that men always seem a step behind, it turns out that she's been playing with him all along, as she forced him to the edge of the cliff without him even realizing. Ara then shows off her crazy girlfriend look to Karim and the boys, as she turns around to Harang only to angrily tell him that he ruined everything. But then it eventually dawned on her that she's surrounded by the elite Garimbi, so she gets surprised as she finally notices all of her squad mates have all been knocked out and defeated. Upon learning that it was solely Harang's doing, she starts to look even more crazy as she begins to repeat herself by saying, "Our boy ruined everything." Elsewhere, as the goddess talk it out with the boys, a bunch of hooded figures are revealed to be hiding around the mountain overlooking the battlefield, where they plan to take out Ara as soon as she starts combat with the Garimbi. It then turns out that these women have been sent by the current queen to make sure they dispatch of Ara, as it's a perfect opportunity to take her out while she can place blame on the elite Garimbi. Luckily, not a single soul dares to make a move, as the entire army of girls are busy getting ready to watch their first sword in action against 4 elite Garimbi. Regardless, Maru informs Ara that they plan to use her as bait, as they know Seoli won't order her squad to take a shot which could endanger her. However, Ara claps back by claiming that she has zero intentions of becoming bait for them, so the only way they could ever use her is to take her down and send her to the afterlife. With Ara's true Chad powers pulsating through her words, she points her sword at the boys and tells them that she's ready to take down at least 2 with her to the next dimension. She then continues on by switching her stance towards Harang, asking the rest of the boys if they're even at all curious to see how strong Harang actually is, as this Prince Behemoth came out of nowhere. As such, she ends up successfully baiting them to leave her on a 1 versus 1 against Harang, since she personally calls out Karim being the most curious out of them all. Even though Herring looks at the rest of the boys for some of support, each one look away and tell him that they're actually super curious to see how strong Prince Behemoth really is. Even Karim refuses to say anything, as literally every single one left on the battlefield wishes to see if the Prince Behemoth really do be packing in more ways than one. And so we leave off with Herring happy to duel Era in front of everyone, even though he never expected this outcome.